Well, good morning, good morning. Here we are. Here we are. I'm going to let you in on a little secret. There's this joke, I think Reverend Michelle Madrano used to tell it. It's actually not a joke, it's really what happened. When she became a minister first, and Reverend Michelle Madrano was our senior minister here for 17 years, so this is quite a while back. Her teacher played this practical joke on her and would take the notes that we all prepare. Even if we don't look at them, we know they're there if we need them. But he would just take them off. And yes, and that's kind of what happened to Reverend Lezli 5 minutes ago. And did she do amazing? Oh, the things that happen behind the scene here. I could tell you stories. So thank you so much. And you know what it takes in order to be able to do that? It takes presence. It takes presence. And I love that our services here at the New Vision Center are designed to bring us into the present, into this now moment, because this is the only place where we can meet life, this gift that we all have been given. And many of us, and at many times in our lives, we have done what? We've been over here saying, I wish I would have said that. I wish I would have done that. I should have. So that's the past over there, or we're over here, right? Once this is taking place, then I am going to feel peace. Then I'm going to feel wholeness, happy. Then I'm going to feel one. And so all what we do here at the New Vision Center is we take our arms and wrap it all the way around the sanctuary inside, all around the online campus, and we invite people to come into this present moment right here, right now. And we do that by breathing. And so we're going to start all together, taking a breath. Beautiful, beautiful. My talk title today is Cultivating Holiday Happiness. And you know what I absolutely love? If you paid attention to the opening prayer that Bill Sneed spoke, he said, we are all together creating this talk. Did you know? Did you know that? Did you know that? Each consciousness that is here in the room is having an effect on not only what comes out of my mouth, but also how it lives out in the world. Because as we leave here, right, I will have my thoughts about the talk, you will have your thoughts, and you will resonate with different things, and you will take it out into the world, and that, beloved, is how we create that ripple that we keep talking about here. And so I invite us all to keep that fresh before us, that we are creating this talk all together. And we have been doing so as long as the center has been in existence. And this year specifically, I love how this community is resonating to our annual theme. Every path leads home. And we have this wonderful slide that depicts all these different paths. And today we are definitely going to lean into self-acceptance and personal responsibility as we are looking forward and toward how can we create a holiday season in 2023 that is meaningful and deep and sacred and honoring of all of the faith traditions that are having holidays coming up, amidst what's happening in the world. Dr. Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teaching, he is the one that was known to say, I prepare a talk, I think about what I want to talk to, but until I stand in the room and I see who has actually shown up to be there, I don't know what is going to be shared. I love that. I love that. Now, Dr. Ernest Holmes, when I think about him, when I have a vision of him, I see him as an elderly man. He had a radio show in the 50s, and so by this time he was in his late 60s, and I used to think that's old. Changed my mind on that. I just changed my mind on that. But I want to bring him alive in a time and an incident that happened when he was in his early 40s. Now, those of you who have seen his radio show, he walks very, whatever that is, when you walk very quietly or just a little bit, not like me. But in his 40s, can you imagine the passion this man must have had? Science of Mind was a splash. It was huge, especially in California where he was. He had just written the Science of Mind. This is 1931, this particular situation I'm going to share with you. 1931. So let's all do some time traveling. I don't see anybody who was alive at 1931. So let's all go back to 1931. What was happening in America at that time? Well, 2 years into the Great Depression. World War I was a not-so-distant memory. And I invite us to feel a moment how challenging that time must have been. And here we meet Dr. Ernest Holmes. He is giving a commencement speech to the beloveds who have just spent a couple of years studying the science of mind, studying Emerson and all the people who came before. And this conversation took place at a time where most Sunday morning conversations were talking about we're suffering here now so that in the afterlife we have a better place to go to. I don't know if you heard that message before, but that is one that I grew up with, right? It was very, very prevalent at that time. A lot more, the church had a lot more impact, traditional religion had a lot more impact on everyday life than it does seem to have today. So here is where we meet Dr. Ernest Holmes, and he's talking to the graduates who I would imagine want to be inspired, right? They have just spent effort and time to learn the science of mind. And in his talk, he says something, and I'm going to paraphrase, that it is a popular belief that those who practice this science are a group of people who think everything is perfect. Who think everything is perfect. When, as a matter of fact, everything in the objective experience of the race, which is the collective consciousness, is not perfect and indeed is far from perfect. Now, I don't know about you, but I can relate to that. Everything in this experience that we are having here on planet Earth in 2023 is not perfect. And how then do we hold this apparent paradox in our heart that we say that all is God, and yet this experience that we're having is not perfect? How do we do that? And how can we How can we be with all of that and be authentic and not fall prey to becoming that criticism of this faith tradition? He goes on and he says, this popular idea of the practice of spiritual science is entirely a misconception. A religious scientist, which is all of us, is not one who assures themselves that wrong is right, that evil is good, that limitation is freedom, that bondage is liberty, or that sickness is health. They do not claim that our objective experience is an illusion. I love this part because part of what was going on was Christian Science. Christian Science was big at the same time, right? And Christian Science is the one that says that everything, all matter, all life here is really an illusion. So Dr. Ernest Holmes points to that. That is how we differ from Christian Science. We do not claim that our objective experience is an illusion, but we do claim that behind the phenomena of human and material existence, behind the slow and persistent process of evolution, there is, as Emerson stated, one mind common to all people. We claim that this mind is perfect and that we each have access to it. We each have access to it. During times when we are on top of the world and everything is flowing, I'm thinking about our upward spiral that represents the amazing stewardship we all just went through. 124 beloveds saying, I am standing in support of the center. I see it when I look at the Peace and Meditation Garden, that so many people have come together and created a place for us to go and feel and be with the divine. And then there's the world, not just what's happening and what just happened in Maine or what is happening in the Middle East, the horrible, horrible atrocities that are taking place in the world. So many beloveds having difficult diagnoses to deal with. There's a lot of pain and suffering in the world. And I want to bring our attention to one, and I want to then really lean into a tool. I saw this on Facebook, and some might have seen it. It's this prayer for Jerusalem, for the Holy Land. And if what is happening there touches your heart, I invite you to be with that. And if it's something else, just hold it and hear how these beloveds are speaking to it. They say, 2 peoples, 1 land, 3 faith, 1 root, 1 earth, 1 mother, 1 sky, 1 beginning, 1 future, 1 destiny, 1 broken heart, 1 God. We pray to you, the God of our own understanding. Grant us a vision of unity. May we see the many in the one and the one in the many. May you, life of all the worlds, source of all amazing differences, help us see clearly. Guide us gently and firmly towards each other, towards peace. Amen, and so it is. And so Reverend Lezli and I, we were talking, and we were looking for something to bring us together, to do this work of holding this sadness and this goodness that is in the world together. And Amy Diamondstein, the owner of our yoga studio, suggested this chant, and when she said that, we were like, yes. So Reverend Lezli is going to lead us in what is called the contemplation chant. It has sacred phrases from different faith traditions in different languages. And I ask you, when we are done, to not applaud. It is going to be amazing, but don't applaud. Rather, we're going to go into a moment of silence, and then we're going to bring us all out of it. Reverend Lezli.
So this is a practice we've done before together as a community. And you have a job. And your job is simply to participate, to sing whatever makes sense to your heart. I'm going to teach you each part. We are now the New Vision Center Choir, the Choir for Peace. We're going to start with one you know, so this one will be easy. Please join me as we sing. Gloria in excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo. Let's do that again. Excelsis Deo, Gloria in excelsis Deo. And this is what a choir director does when they're going to talk and they want you to be quiet. Let's learn another one. From Islam, there is a phrase that is, there is none but the one. We are all in the one. It goes like this. La ilaha illallahu, la ilaha illallahu, la ilaha illallahu, la ilaha. Now sing whatever one you want. La ilaha illallahu, in excelsis Deo. The most wonderfully directed choir. Let's learn another one. This one pairs the Jewish culture and the Hindu culture in two different words for peace. Shalom, Shanti, Shalom, Shanti, Shalom, Shanti, Shalom, Shanti. Take whatever part you like. Shalom. This is from Tibetan Buddhism, and it invokes the consciousness of compassion. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Now take the part of your choice. La ilaha illallah, Shalom, Shanti. Shalom, Shanti, Shalom, Shanti, Shalom. singing and close your eyes. Let your voice become louder and just sink into the process. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. La ilaha illallah, la ilaha illallah. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. La ilaha illallah, Shalom. Join me in the Gloria. Gloria in excelsis Deo. Gloria in excelsis Deo.
Breathing it in and holding it in our hearts. And allowing ourselves to come back here in the sanctuary, back wherever you find yourself, online. Thank you, feeling gratitude for what just happened here. That is one way of how we can prepare our hearts to hold the heaviness of this time. By being with it, by allowing the tears to run, and by being with it. Now you may ask yourself, how does this help me to cultivate a happier holiday season for myself? And I say it has everything to do with it. It has everything to do with it. The holiday season, while it is this wonderful time of many, many coming together, what all comes with when we come together? Expectations, feelings of this should be a different way. How would it look if we, before we go and interact with any person, allow ourselves to cultivate this peace in our hearts? The peace that goes beyond understanding, so that we can be present to the challenges, to the pain, to the suffering that is in the world. We are not a faith tradition that says it's not there. We all heard how many children came in Arizona into the foster system this year. It is astonishing how much pain and suffering there is in the world. And then how do we hold the goodness and the love and the peace and the joy that we are experiencing? We, beloveds, have to grow ourselves even wider. We have to learn to be a greater, more reliable place for spirit to show up, as our beloved Dr. Kathy Hearn used to say. We have to resist this temptation to know an answer. And that is hard for some of us. Right? When people come and say, what do I do with this? Sometimes the best answer that I have is, let's be with it. Let's not shy away from it. Let's not deny it, because we know that the healing takes place as we walk through the condition and as we find our own individual path of being one in the one, of having access to that one mind that Emerson and Dr. Ernest Holmes and so many talked about, that is beyond this appearance. I do hope you show up next week when we're going to have a lot more practical things of how to cultivate happy holidays. But this felt important. It felt important to be honest and authentic of this is what's happening in the world, and we are in it. And so we now make this leap, because we're going to hear Rick sing this incredible song, There's Only Love. There's only love. And I will invite us through prayer to get there. Please join me. And so we just take a breath. We take a breath and recognize that there is one power, one presence, one eternal goodness. That this one has always been and will always be is the eternal loving kindness of sweet spirit. And that vibration is literally in everything and in everyone, and so it is within me. And I invite us, everyone who is within the sound of my voice, to step into that vibration consciously. I am. And so here we feel the resonance that echo deep at the center of our being, of love, of peace, of harmony, of joy, of abundance, of goodness. And it is this place that we allow to widen so that we can be a stand and allow everything that is unlike this goodness to have a place. For we understand that the darkness cannot swoosh out the light. And so we stand in our light. Call forth and speak a special blessing of all the prayer requests that have come to this center in the last week. All of the beloveds that are looking to be held in that place. Those beloveds who temporarily forgot that truth. We stand in it. We stand in the light. For there is only love. The love that has always been and will always be. And so it is with a grateful heart that I simply place this word into universal law, that I know it is done, it is complete, it is so. And together we anchor this truth as we say, and so it is.